Everyone, welcome back to Array Blog once again. So as we are exploring project and building the project, so I came here today with some really exciting project. So we are going to build our mini database in C, just like a lightweight version of SQLite. And what we're going to learn, we are going to learn how to store records in a binary file, and we are going to run a simple queries like insert and select. Right? And this project is perfect for practicing structure, file handling, and string in C. So, what we are going to build today, we are going to build our database that will store a student record with the, we can say, ID, name, and we can say age. And we'll be able to insert new record and view all record with select, right? And in the second step, what we're going to do, we are going to define a structure for to representing each student record. And the third step we are going to take input from user and write down that record into a binary file. And the fourth step is going to be we will read all the record back from the file, the binary file, and will display them like a table. And that's it. We have we then in the step 5 we have tested our data file, like we have write in the binary file, and we have get the and we have displayed the data from the binary file, right? So yeah, that's it. So let's jump into the code. So what I'll do, I'll create a file here first. We'll say mini, or we can say database.c, right? So what we're going to learn, we are going to learn how to store data in a binary file, insert record, and read them back, right? So let's start. So what we'll do, we'll first import a library. So we'll say include the standard input output library, stdio.h, right? And then we are going to use stdlib to exit and to do the memory operation. So we'll say stack include stdlib.h, right? And the third one we are going to use the string one for handling the string. So we'll say hashtag include say string dot h, right? So the first one, the studio.h for the input output like printf and scanf, and the stdlib.h that for exit and memory operation, right? And the string, this string is basically for handling the string in case if you want to manipulate the name or age or any kind of things. Now what you're going to do, we are going to define our structure. So we'll say type def struct, and we can say we'll not give the name here, say database, but we will not give the name here. We'll say struct, and we are going to say here records, right? And we are going to declare we are going to define the variable basically int id, and we'll say char, we'll say name, we can give the size 50, right? We'll say int age. So that's how you declare structure in a C. So if you don't know, go check out my playlist. There is a proper video on structure, how to define a structure in a C. So what you're doing here, we create a structure called records to store the ID, name, and age. And this will be the format of every student record we store in our binary file. Now what we're going to do, we are going to create an insert function, right? So we'll comment down here. We'll say insert function, And for this also we can write a structure, right? So for the insert function, we will say void insert record, and we'll say constant char and then file name, right? So, and we are going to open a file and append in a binary file, binary in a binary format. So file, say asterisk fp equals to f open. And if you don't know how to open a file, just go check out my C playlist so that you will be aware of how it works and how we can open that file or we can store it. File name, you're going to pass your file name and we'll say A and B. So if you don't know A is for appending and B is for the binary. Right, we are going to say append in binary mode. So we'll say if, we're going to say if underscore fp file not exist. So we'll say p error, and we'll say error opening file, right? And we'll say return, right? So we'll say if file is not opening here, so return. Now we are going to say record rec. Yeah, record rec. Now we are going to ask enter your id, enter your name, enter your age. We'll say printf. Why it is giving error? It's a record rec. Need to declare record. Okay, we have to use records. So say records, yeah. So say printf, and we'll say enter your id, and we're going to take input. So we'll say scanf, and we'll say percentile. We'll say percentile s, because we are going to, no, we are going to take a, we'll say percentile d because we are going to take an integer, right, as a id. So we'll say dollar ampersand, we'll say rect dot id, and then column, and we forgot here to add, and let me just copy paste it for the rest of the things. So we'll say the enter your id name, and then this is going to be age. So we'll say enter your name, and this is going to be name, and this will be string, yeah, and age will be number. So we'll say enter your age, and we'll say percentile d age, right? So we are going to ask them enter your name, age, and enter your id, name, and age. And what we're going to do, we are going to write this in a file. So what you will use, you will say f write, and then we'll say ampersand rec, that the value that is stores, and then size of, say, record, right? And we are going to say 1 and then fp and the semicolon, and we have to close this. So if close, and we'll pass the file, right, and we'll print a message. So we'll say record inserted successfully, and then semicolon. So what you're doing, we have declared a structure here to store the student record, and this is the, we are opening the file, and we have created a basically insert function. and this we are going to appending in a binary mode. We'll take input for the ID, name, and age from the user, and we'll write the file into the uh, and we write the record structure into the file, right? And we'll print out message that record inserted successfully. Now the second thing we have to do, we have to select or read the data from the file. So we'll say read the data from the file, right? So we'll say void select record records, and we are going to say, yeah, so void select records, and we have to pass the constant char and the file name. File name, right? And we are going to open the file. So what we'll do, just copy this and I'll paste it here. So here there is a one more change. So what we're going to do, we are going to open this file. Rather than appending, we'll say read binary, right? And this we will copy again. So we'll declare it here, right? And we'll say printf, and we'll say backslash n, say student records backslash n dash we can say, right, this kind of thing, and we'll say backslash n and the column. Now remember we have said that we are going to print in a table format. So we are going to use the loop while. We'll say f read, we'll say ampersand record, and then we'll say size of records, right? And then we're going to say 1, and then fp, the file name, the file basically. And we're going to run a loop. So we'll say printf, say id percentile d, and then we'll say name, we'll say percentile s, and then same we'll say age, and we'll say percentile d again, right? And we are going to say backslash n, and we have to pass the dot id dot name, and then that dot age and the semicolon. And again we are going to do here printf, and we'll add some like this kind of things, yeah. And we'll say backslash and just for the some formatting, right? And the main thing we forgot here, to close the file. So close, and we'll say fp and the semicolon, right? So we have created two functions. The first one is the insert the record, and the second one is the read the record. Now we forget to create here the main function. So what we're going to do, we are say int main, and yeah, we'll say constant char, and we'll say the file name equals to, we can say database dot bin, right? And the semicolon. So yeah, and what are we going to do, we are going to say int choice. It is giving error, identifier database is undefined. Oh, I think we have not created a file. We'll create, so what we'll do, we'll create a file. We'll say database.bin. Close this. And it's a constant char file name equals to, that is the database bin. So this is going to be a file name, and we have successfully created the file also, right? Because we are not creating here on a program. If file doesn't exist to create a file, we manually created here. So what we're going to do, we are going to run a loop while one, right? We'll say printf backslash n, and we'll say mini database backslash n, and then we'll add comma, semicolon, and then printf. We're going to say one, insert backslash n, then we'll say select backslash n, and then we are going to say 3. The third option, we are going to say exit, right? And then backslash n, we can say enter choice. Let me write this first. I'll explain what I'm doing here, right? So what I'm doing, we are saying the first option is going to be insert, second is going to be read, select, and third one is going to be exit, and the fourth one is like enter choice. So what we're going to do, we'll say scanf, and we'll say percentile d, and we'll say percent choice. So we are taking input from the user, right? We are taking input from the user here, and we will ask the user to enter 1, 2, 3, or enter, and we are going to use the switch case here. So if you don't know how to use the switch case, just go and see my tutorial on a switch case. So yeah, that's it. So in place of expression, we are going to write the choice, right? We can say keep it the same, but for the confusion, I remove this. So we'll say the case one, we are going to say insert record, and we are going to say file name, and then break, right? And let me add the case 2, and yeah, case 2, and case 3, we also need that. Let's say exit, and then the default one, right? So we'll say case 1, and then case 2 is going to be read records, say select record, yeah, that's a read record, and then the third one is going to be printf, say printf, and we're going to say exiting, because we are exiting the system, and we'll say backslash n, and we'll say instead of say exit break, we'll say exit, say 0, and this is going to be third, right? And the semicolon we are missing here, and we can delete the break from, or we can keep it, we can delete it, we don't need, because we're exiting the code here. Now the final one is the printf, the default one. So it's a invalid choice, right? And we'll say backslash n, and the semicolon, and int main, and we are going to return the loop here, the main, that will return 0. That's it. So what you have done, will explain again. So we have include the standard input output library, and all the necessary libraries, and the structure, we have defined a structure that contain ID, name, and age. If you don't know how to define a structure, how to use a structure, go check out my playlist, right? So you'll get understand. And then we have created the another function that's a insert record, right? In insert record, what we're doing, we are opening a file, that database.bin we have created, and we are taking the input from the user, it's a ID, name, age, and then writing it and then closing it, and it's a successfully record, right? And the second, the function we have created, the select record. So whatever the inside the database bin, we are going to read it and we are going to print. Then comes the main function. We have created a simple menu driven interface that's a insert your choice. It's a mini database first, and it's a for one it's a insert, for for the second it's a select, and for the third it's a exit. So if you enter one, it will ask it will run the insert record, and if you think I have added the multiple break, yeah, and if you enter the second, it will go here, and if you enter the third number, it will say exiting, right? And by default it's a default choice, and it is asking your enter choice, and we are taking the input. So what we'll do, we'll run it and we'll see how it works. So we'll say first we have to compile it, gcc database.c, right? We got the database c and minus o, we'll say database. So we have added somewhere print, say printf, right? And in the print, so let me close this, let me compile this again, and we have compiled it. You can see the database, right? Now we have to run this, so we'll say database. So it is asking the enter the, it's a mini database, and it's asking for insert, enter one, for the select, for reading the database basically you enter 2, and then for the if you want to exit the program, enter 3. So as we can see, we don't have anything in the database, in the file, so or our database. So we have to we are going to insert, so we'll say 1, and we'll send id 12, then name I can write array block, and we can say 50. So it's a record inserted successfully, right? So let me explain what it does. It when we enter insert one, come to this function, and this function is here. That's a insert record, and it is asking us to enter the ID, name, and age, and whatever we have written, the 12, array block, and 50, it is successfully written in a database dot bin file. So let's open this. I don't think we can see this, what we are, yeah, yeah, we have written something, see, but it is not good way to open this kind of file because it's a binary file. So what we're going to do, whatever we have entered, we are going to read that. So we will enter port number 2, see. So we got the it. So whenever we enter the number, let me just, yeah. So when we enter the choice number 2, we are going to we call the select record function. So this is the select record function. What it does, it is reading the binary file. So it opened the binary file, and then it comes to the student record that we can see it here, right? And it is printing the ID is 12, name is array block, and age is that is 50, and then exit the program. What we're going to do, we are going to enter one more time. So we'll say 1, and we'll say 32, we'll say array block new, right? Just to be the naming difference, and we can say 55. Right now we're going to read this, so we'll say see, it is keep replacing that file, that's why we cannot see the previous one. I think we can, yeah, we can see that, yeah, see. So it's a id equals to 12, and array block and then 50. The age is 50. And in the next one, it's a ID 32. Name is array block new and age is 55. So that's how we created here our mini database, right? Here no UI and I mean we have not created the GUI here. So write down in a comment if you want this project in a GUI format so that you can take a graphical. You can take the feel, right, like your SQL work, your Postgres work. This kind of, if you want that kind of project, write down in a comment. I will make this project with the proper UI. And also I'll request you to just try with the try. I'll put this code in a my GitHub repo. And what we'll do, I'll request you to just try this with the update, delete, right? Just two things. Try with the update and delete. Do the same kind of things. What like you want to, whatever you want to delete from the database, just write it, and if you want to update some record, try with try like that. So, and if you're not able to do that, write in a comment. I will make that complete separate video, including the insert, select, delete, and update. Right. And now we have to exit the choice. So we'll enter the third, and it will close the program. So that's how you can create your mini database project. So first, I'll say try with the minimum, the insert and select record, and then extend this to the delete and update. And if you're not able to do that, write in a comment. I will make this project for you with and also if you want with the GUI, write down in a comment, right? So yeah, that's it for the today. We have created our mini database. We have successfully inserted a record in a binary file, and we have successfully read the data from the binary file. So if you like this project, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friend. And write down a comment what kind of project you want in a C. Just mention some project so that I can work on that project and I can make a tutorial on that project and I can give. So thank you.